It's something that the first ambassador, Dr. Kiernan, liked to celebrate because he wrote about a book about the young islanders and laid the foundation. I mean, how perfect that he was a historian and his wife was a folk singer. This is sort of the keel of the Irish imagination created by those two wings, folk music and music and history.
And basically it's a kind of all singing and dancing welcome. And it's amusing because really what happens at the beginning of this is the people are calling out for Mrs. Kiernan, will you give us a song? And Mrs. Kiernan, of course, is well known in her own right as Delia Murphy, the Irish singer. And she does. And so instead of Kiernan getting the plaudits on the platform for being the ambassador, she gets them for singing her signature tune, which was the Blackbird.
If I was a blackbird, I'd whistle and sing, and I'd follow the ship that my true love.
When the Irish first came to Australia, I think my grandfather wrote a book, and he wrote about the fact that they were political prisoners and they really basically had to make their way, and it was a very challenging time. And in 1946, when my grandfather set up the Irish Embassy here, I think it was really challenging even then for the Irish to have respect in Australia.
From that sort of underdog outsider perspective, over the last 70 years, they've really built up, and Australia now, I think, has got a great appreciation for the contributions that Ireland has made to the building of the current Australia.
Most people are aware of the Irish convicts who came to Australia. There were about 40,000 of those. What people aren't more aware of is that the vast number of Irish who came in those first 100 years or so were actually migrants. So there were about 300,000 that came up to the end of the 19th century, and they were the second largest group, of course, after the English. So their impact was profound.
It's a reality that stretches back to the First Fleet and to the early transportations, to those extraordinary men, and then subsequently extraordinary women who came and helped to transform this great nation.
A noble Welsh commander, they call the Tadhg Kennelly, sailing to Western Australia, she stole 6 full figures away. Come all you still waters and jailers, remember Tadhg Rest of your opinions, or the Yankees will steal them away. For 7 long years they had served here, and 7 long more had to stay. For defending the country, old Ireland, for that they were banished away. Come all you waters and jailers, remember Tadhg.
Myself being involved in sport is 2 indigenous sports in Gaelic football and Australian rules come together and play an international rules, a hybrid game. 2 organisations in Australia and Ireland that came together and created a great relationship over a long period of time.
Yeah, I always felt I had part of my soul belonged back there, and I think the Irish climate suits me. This continuous sunshine is a bit of a challenge to a melancholy soul like me.
I went to Tasmania just before I came here on posting, and it's sort of, it's quite eerie that you've got this island on one side of the world which is almost exactly the same size as an island, which is almost exactly the opposite end of the world. They both look green, they've both got beautiful scenery, they've both got the same sort of tourism attributes and so on. And there's an awful lot of Irish people, or people of Irish origin, in Tasmania. It's quite an Irish place.
The Irish ingenuity, Irish inventors, and that dissenting voice, I think that's as much what the Irish have contributed to Australia. It's what makes Australia very interesting from an Irish perspective.
So, Sláinte.
Sláinte, Richard. The next 70 years of diplomatic relations between Ireland and Australia.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.